YouTube family. Today is Sunday and I am going to vlog today. Mostly gonna do a full day of eating for you guys. I'm gonna share with you my current macros, what I'm made some changes there. I'll talk about why. That's gonna be about it. I already went to the gym and trained this morning, so today is a day of eating after lifting, a day of eating for lifting. However, I am doing the same macros regardless if I'm lifting or taking a rest day right now. It's just how I'm doing things to kind of keep consistent and get some consistency in my diet. So it doesn't matter what day of the week it is, that is how we're doing the macros right now. So I trained today earlier this morning. I did not do any cardio. I'm hoping it gets a little bit nicer outside so I can do some cardio out there. I did run around with the big guy a little bit to get his burst of energy out, so not off to a bad start. I did get my heart rate up and I am currently at 21:29. I use the Garmin watch. Jason got me that for Christmas and it's currently programmed for like an 8,000 goal per day, which I like to get more than that, but for me when I'm working during the week, just getting 8,000 is really good for me. So I've been focusing a little bit more on that, just like your regular everyday activity. So even if I don't do scheduled cardio, I'm still kind of focusing on how much movement I'm getting every day. So all I'm having right now is my cup of Nespresso and some unsweetened cashew milk, and I'm about to make my first meal. So Jason, I got chemical peels yesterday. I talked a little bit about my struggles with hormonal acne on my Instagram earlier this week. So for me, that was step one, was just getting a chemical peel. We do the pyruvic acid chemical peels at our dermatology office, and we used to do them consistently. And when we did them consistently, I definitely noticed an improvement in my skin in terms of just not looking as dull looking, because it helps get rid of, you know, the dead skin cells. It helps clean out your pores. It's good for anti-aging and all that good stuff. So this is one day after. I probably will wear a little makeup today, but nothing too heavy, because I just hate clogging up my pores after I just kind of got it all cleaned out. But usually for me, what happens after a chemical peel is things get a little worse before it gets better. So my problem area is my chin, so that's a little bit angry right now, and give it like 3 to 4 days and normally my skin looks so much better. So I'm hoping that this helps me. And I also did get a topical ointment, which I'm gonna start to try that out as well. And yeah, if you guys want me to talk any more about that, it's not really fitness related, but it is more hormone related, so let me know if you'd like to hear more about that and what I'm doing and why. And that's it. So that's why my skin's a little extra shiny, a little more redness today. There's no red face after the chemical peel. Maybe other chemical peels, but not with the type we get. We both tolerate it pretty well, which is nice. So just have to wear lots of sunscreen and stay out of the sun, because that could cause a bad reaction. You could get really badly burnt, and we don't want that. So I'm actually not wanting breakfast food this morning, and that's okay, guys. You don't have to eat a typical breakfast. I am cooking up some broccoli coleslaw. I've got a serving of that. I like to cook it down on the stovetop. I also digest it better when I do that. And I'm gonna add a tablespoon of my sugar-free teriyaki sauce to it. And then I've got some leftover jasmine rice. I'm gonna heat that up. It should be about 1 serving, should be about 50 carbs there. And then in here, I've got some rotisserie chicken. I had actually purchased a rotisserie chicken and I just pulled off the skin and pulled out the breast meat only. So this is kind of like a convenient, quick way to get in some chicken if you don't feel like cooking it, and we didn't have any cooked. However, you do need to kind of account for the extra fat that's going to be there. Even if you do pull off the skin, the odds are the oils and all that was marinated into the skin has kind of seeped into the breast. So doesn't look like super fattening, but I would say you should account for some fat when you're consuming it that way. But sometimes I'm just craving a good rotisserie chicken. So that's gonna be my first meal. It might be weird, but it just sounds really good and filling. Not really craving breakfast food at the moment. I'll probably have some later. But I also, what am I gonna add to it? I might add some avocado as well. Final product, not looking much different. Got my rice, broccoli slot, and 4-ish ounces of chicken. I'm gonna drink a big mug of Crystal Light. It's like a berry lemonade, I believe. And instead of avocado, I'm gonna save avocado for later. I think I'm also just gonna slap one of these little Laughing Cow cheeses on top. Managed to hold out 2 hours while I did other things, and I'm starving. Like, I wanted to eat right after my other meal, but I held out a little bit so I could get some things done. But now we're gonna make my next meal. I did end up putting some makeup on because we're going to film a like spring summer fashion haul, so it's much easier to look at me if I have makeup on, so that is why we did it. I don't know what I want to eat, but I am very, very hungry today, so let's figure it out so this girl can throw down. We're all tired up in here today. It's an interesting way to leave your paw, Bruce. So good. So thirsty. Of weird food combinations at times, and I don't know why that is. I have been trying to at least think about with each of my meals, not necessarily each of my meals, but like for the whole day, I'm trying to really focus on making sure I'm getting in a few servings of fruits and vegetables, ideally trying to hit 5, like a total of 5. If you think about that old slogan, strive for 5, I'm trying to get at least a minimum of 5 servings of fruits and veggies combined. So anyway, sometimes my meal combinations are a little weird because I'll throw in some fruit or veggies or whatever, but that's just kind of what I'm doing. I suggest you guys do the same though, because sometimes we get caught up, if you're tracking macros or whatever you're doing, we kind of lose sight of the actual nutrient dense portion of things. So I'm trying not to do that, and I know for me personally with my digestion and how I feel energy-wise, I do feel better when I'm incorporating more fruits and veggies. So I got that going on here with my sandwich, but I just cut up a whole cucumber, and I've got these like sweet cherry tomatoes. I forget what they're called. Angel sweet tomatoes. I cut some of those off, and then I just dressed it with apple cider vinegar, and I like the way this tastes better chilled, but we're gonna eat it right now. And if you're like me and want it a little bit sweeter, you could add a little Splenda to it. You could add a little Splenda or stevia to it, or just, you know, some other seasonings, whatever you like for flavor. And then with it is my little Sammy. Nothing crazy here. Again, kind of a weird flavor combo, but it's the maple French toast English muffins. I really like those, with a little bit of egg white on it, a half a slice of Velveeta cheese underneath there, some seasonings, and 1 slice of that turkey I showed you guys. So this isn't really a big meal, but I'm just looking for a little snack right now. And I don't know why, like if it's my allergies or what, but I'm winded talking to you guys today, in case you're wondering if I'm talking funny or something. I feel like I'm getting winded talking to you. It must be because I don't think I'm breathing out of my nose well. I think my allergies are taking over right now, so I apologize. As promised, I was also going to share with you guys the macros that I'm currently trying to hit. I've had some people asking, since you guys know one of my more recent vlogs, I mentioned that I am still doing a cut, and I'm kind of using the Real Weights for Real Heroes event in July as just like a little extra motivation, just to give me a little timeline, because I know there's no deadline here. Everything's okay with where I'm at right now, but I do want to have a deadline to just to use that to push myself a little bit harder. So recently, this past week, I did start a new training program, and I'm going to be a bit more meticulous with my training in terms of actually taking the time to track what I'm lifting, how much weight, how many reps, and focusing on monitoring that progress each week to see if I'm making improvements. Am I feeling stronger? How's my energy at? Am I lifting any heavier? Am I lifting lighter? Like, just to kind of more closely monitor things. And when I'm more like on top of tracking stuff like that, being a bit more meticulous, I tend to do better. I do well with that structure. So I'm using that to kind of structure the next 7 or 8 weeks, 7 weeks or so. Real Weights for Real Heroes is. So in addition to that, was starting the new training program. Like I mentioned earlier, my macros, I'm doing the same macros every day. And what I'm doing right now is protein is 125 grams, carbs are at 165 grams, and fat is at 45 grams. So calorie-wise, that's an increase from what I was doing. And it's not a huge increase, but it's more of like a change in the macronutrient split. And I felt really good this past week on that macronutrient split. So just another option for you guys, you know, for me, kind of changing things up, especially when starting a new training program, kind of upping the calories a little bit to see how I'm feeling, making sure I have proper energy, and then going from there. So I am someone that loves fats. Like, I could eat 70 to 80 grams of fat a day easily, but I know that my body best responds with keeping the fats not low. 45 grams is not low, but I have classically responded best to using my macronutrient split a little bit higher on the carb, lower on the fat. And I wasn't really doing that before, so I'm interested to see how this impacts my physique. So that's where things are at right now. And I'm gonna finish eating my cucumber salad, and holy crap, this is super filling. I meant to have avocado with this meal because this is super low fat. I wasn't intending on that, but I bought 2 avocados yesterday, and they're both brown and crappy. I don't know why they ripen so quickly, but they are not edible. So I have to figure out something else for my fats, but this is pretty filling, so I'm gonna talk with my mouth full. Finish this, and I'll see you after. Sorry for the sniffles. Sorry, that's really, really not cute. One thing I'll never be able to eat intuitively is nuts. Do not trust me alone with nuts or nut butter. So I'm gonna have some of this. This is an Aldi mix, raw cashew, walnuts, and macadamia nuts. 1 serving, which is 1/4 of a cup or 30 grams that I just measured out, is going to be 18 fat. 18 fat, 6 carb, 2 fiber, and I'm going to have that right now because I haven't had a crazy amount of fat today, so I'm hoping this gives me a little burst of energy. But those macadamia nuts are my favorite. My next meal is not very aesthetic, but we already had some turkey burgers cooked up that needed to be ate, whatever the proper word is there. Made them in the air fryer, and all I did was add some turmeric to it, and I did overcook it a little bit, so it's a little dried out, but this was probably not the best plate to choose since my turkey burger blends into the plate, therefore making it not aesthetic. I just steamed up some broccoli, cauliflower, and carrots, and because I know this is going to be super dry, want to add a little more flavor to it, I'm going to add a serving of this Bolthouse Farms creamy roasted garlic. Probably just use a couple tablespoons drizzled on top of all of it. Yes, I know you're hungry. I know you're hungry, Bruce. I'm sorry. Because I didn't really have much fat in that meal, I'm going to measure out a serving of the coconut manna, which is super good if you guys haven't had this. A lot of people do add it to smoothies or like oatmeal. You can drizzle it on toast. I like to just spoon it and eat it out of there, but you can also melt it too and eat it that way. 1 tablespoon is 9 grams of fat, 3 carbs, 2 of which are fiber, and 1 protein. Excuse the dog shaking, it's awfully loud. So I realize I ate totally ass backwards today, eating like a dinner for breakfast, and now I'm eating like breakfast for my last meal. But But there's no rules.
There's no rules!
Put your shirt back on.
There's one rule!
I'm gonna finish on my macros with like the perfect end of night meal snack, whatever you want to call it. And there's nothing I love more than like a big ass bowl of cereal before I go to bed. When I was vegetarian and in college, I'd eat like a half box of cereal before I'd go to bed. It was not very healthy at all. I just like lived off cereal, but I still have a love for cereal. And I also have a love for meeting my fiber goals. So that's why tonight I'm gonna have the Ever So Grandma-ish all bran, which I actually love. And this is great, especially if you need some more fiber in your diet, kids, because look at that, 10 whole grams of fiber. And that is in one serving. So I'm having a full serving of all bran. Then I'm gonna mix, I already mixed in there, some of the Special K red berries. Excuse me. So I've got that, and then I've got my MTS Isolate. This is in the vanilla ice cream. This is like one of my favorites to drink as a shake, is just the Isolate. This comes in vanilla ice cream or chocolate. You guys can check that out, link in the description. But I mixed it up with some cashew milk with 8 ounces. So that becomes my cereal milk. And then I'm gonna cut up that banana and throw that in there. And that is gonna be my last meal. That is gonna finish up my macros for the day. And I hit them pretty spot on. So the macros I shared with you earlier are basically what I hit tonight, like to a T. I almost never do that. And I wasn't even trying to do that for the YouTubes. It just happened. And I never did any cardio today, and I don't know why I was super hungry today. So anyways, this should fill me up for the night. I'm just meal prepping for the week ahead. And that's gonna conclude this day of eating. So if you guys still enjoy day of eating videos, make sure you hit the thumbs up button. It lets me know you wanna see more videos like this. Make sure you're subscribed. I'm someone that does not eat the same food every day. I never will be that person. I'm always like changing it up, and I'm always kind of listening to my body, what I'm craving, but also with that balance of my health and my goals. So let me know any other videos you guys would like to see in the future, and I guess that's it. We'll see you in the next one.